Welcome. Today we are playing the oldest deck in our tournament. The oldest deck is Necro. For those of you who haven't heard about this very famous deck, there was a period in this is when Standard was just getting started, and there was a period called Necro Summer. Now, when this deck started to catch on, and it was everywhere, and everyone was playing it, and you either had to play Necro or play something you thought really was good at beating it. And so they called it Necro Summer. It was the first sort of degenerate meta. The way it works is it uses the card Necropotence. You have to skip your draw step, but you can pay 1 life to get cards at the end of your turn. If you can do this in such a way that you just keep the threats coming, and even if you get low on life, you can eventually use Drain Life to gain some life back so that you can continue to draw cards. And when you're done refilling your hand, then you can use Nevin Rawl's Disc, which, by the way, is Larry Nevin spelled backwards. Larry Niven spelled backwards. And then you can destroy the Necropotence and start drawing cards again. So the way it works is you want to come out blasting real fast, use your Dark Rituals, Hymn to Turok, discarding random cards. You might get lucky and get their lands. You make them discard some lands, strip mine their other lands. Now they're sitting there with a bunch of cards they can't play, and then you drop a Hypnotic Spectre and start making them discard even more cards at random. And by the time they finally have enough lands, they've discarded so many cards that they're way, way, way behind. The one weakness of the deck is that it takes a little bit of time to close out your win. So usually come out and you just wreck them. You wreck them, but then they have some time. It takes you, maybe another 6 or 7 turns to actually finish them off. And one of the hardest things about playing this deck is Demonic Consultation, knowing what to tutor for. You name a card and you remove the top 6 cards of your library, and then you reveal cards until you find it. And if the card you name, if all the available copies in your library are in those first top 6 cards, then you mill your whole deck and you lose. So you don't want that to happen. So you're not going to do Demonic Consultation for Zurin Orb or Ivory Tower, which you have a 1 of. Unless you're really desperate for some reason, because you're just creating a situation where you might just lose the game on the spot. I think last year I did lose a game because I milled myself with this card, but I was desperate and I needed something right away. So it was sort of a one of my only outs kind of play. So Mark will be playing Necropotence. I will be playing Lukka Yorion Fires. So this deck was recently banned when they got rid of both Fires of Invention and Agent of Treachery, and they changed the companion rule. We will be playing with the new companion rules, because one of the rules in Ultimate Standards is we always use the most recent rules, so sometimes that nerfs old decks. So this deck wants to get Fires of Invention out so it can cast free spells, and then with 5 lands out, you can play Lukka, which finds you Agent of Treachery because it's the only creatures in your deck. Agent of Treachery comes out and steals a permanent, usually one of your opponent's lands, just to slow down their development. So then we also have the Yorion companion in the sideboard. So once you have Agent of Treachery out or Lukka out, you go get your companion, which now costs 3 mana, and then when it enters the battlefield, it blinks everything, and so you get to steal another permanent. And remember, Agent of Treachery doesn't give up those things like a lot of the stealing kinds of permanents. You just keep that permanent. So now you get another one. You steal another one. Lukka can go get another Agent of Treachery. And then you have Shark Typhoon to finish them off.
Which is a very powerful spell.
But Mark has a deck that can just stop me from even getting any lands into play. So obviously he's going to want a hand that just wrecks my ability to get.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. Just comparing Ultimate Standard, if it's all right. This deck, it has fairly poor creatures, because I think power creep over the years has scaled up the strength of creatures. But some of the non-creature spells are very strong. So basically, Necropotence, the real strength of it, I think it can beat almost any deck by ruining you hard enough in the early game. Like strip mine your lands maybe very early on. I get an early Hymn to Turok, even a turn one Hypnotic Spectre is possible. But in terms of the really late game staying power, this deck's a little bit lacking. I don't have any creatures that are above like 2 power.
You know what's really
the deck is
fun
fairly weak.
is a turn 1 Hypnotic Spectre followed by a turn 2 Hymn to Turok.
Yeah, that's really mean.
So then on turn 2, they discard 3 cards
All
at
three are
random.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
that's a 3-card mulligan.
It can be really rough in the early game. The only other thing I was also going to mention was just that, I don't know if it's fully by, well, 2 other things. First of all, by happenstance, this deck has a lot of like protection from white stuff and anti-white stuff. And Brandon's not running mono white, but he is running some white spells. So just the nature, this particular matchup, Necropotence is maybe a little stronger than it might be otherwise.
There's that weird version of Narset has a removal ability but since she's white, it won't work on these guys. No.
And like Elspeth Conquers Death doesn't work, and like the Omen of the Sun tokens can't block my guys, for instance. Just final full disclosure, I'm not Randy Bueller. This Necropotence is a little hard to pilot, and I think it's possible I could mess it up a little. We'll see.
Cool. All right. Let's find out what hands we get. And also, like, against Necro, I can't keep a risky hand with only a few lands in it. Like, I don't think I can keep any 2-land hand. So,
I'll keep.
hold on. We haven't rolled to see who goes first. I rolled a 10.
I think I rolled a 17.
He says I keep very confidently. And he gets to play first. Oh, boy. I think this is a keepable hand, too. Okay, go ahead.
We were just talking about this. Swamp, tap, ritual, hippie.
Ah, see, that's pretty bad for me. Okay. Draw. I'm going to get this down now so that it doesn't get stripped from my hand. And say go.
Turn?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to hit you with hippie.
All right. 1 through 7. I'm rolling 7-sided die. I got a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You made me discard a Sacred Foundry.
Second main phase. I just want to check your deck list for a second here. I will play.
I'm gonna pop the Fabled Passage.
Actually, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I might have a take back here real fast. Sorry.
Okay.
This is already. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna play Mistress Factory as a land. I'm gonna play Strip Mine as a land.
Oh, okay. So, in that case, I don't want to pop Fabled Passage. Yeah, okay. Well, that changes things. Okay.
It's your turn.
I'm going to play Sacred Foundry.
Untapped.
And pass turn.
Untap. Draw. Combat. I will attack you. Maybe.
I roll a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got my Omen of the Sea.
I will blow up the Sacred Foundry. Swamp. Tap 2. Play Order of the Ebon Hands. And then end. It's your turn.
All right, this time I will Fabled Passage. I get an island. Okay, draw. I play Sacred Foundry, tapped, and it's your turn.
A little bit curious why you played the untapped Play the Sacred Foundry untapped before.
Hey, wait a minute, that's a mistake, isn't it? So, because if I crack Fabled Passage, it still comes in play tapped.
Yeah, that was what determined the Strip Mine play. Interestingly enough, I was thinking.
So I should be at 6. There was no reason to play that. There was no reason.
So you're up 2 life.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Slight takebacks there. The playing the land untapped was silly because there was no way to make that mana. Okay.
Base.
Now there might be a reason to do it if I wanted to, but no.
I will pump the knight and hit you for 5.
I'm at 11.
Okay, I'm getting another card.
And 1 through 5, we get a 2. You got my Agent of Treachery.
Second main. I know this is your favorite card right now. I'm gonna strip mine your island.
Okay.
Go ahead. I think Necro's probably got it at this point. It's not over yet, but you're in a pretty rough spot here.
I'll play a Triome, and I'm the turn. So I have lost 3 lands already.
I will play Mistress Factory, move to combat. I will hit you with these 2. No pumps this time.
No pumps, okay. 7. I am almost dead. I roll 1 to 4, and you get my island. Wow, 4 lands. You got 4 lands from me. That's how Necro works.
Second main phase, I will tap out and play another copy of Hippie, and it's your turn. Yeah.
All right.
You're in problem zone
I
right
need
now.
a glass casket here to stay alive. I mean, I can omen of the sea, but then what? I play a land and I say go and I lose.
Then you die. Yeah.
So well, let me go ahead
Glass
and do
casket.
that. So let's see. I scry 2. Yeah,
You're dead on
you
board
win.
if you do that, I think.
You win. Yeah.
Okay. You didn't have the glass casket?
Nope. And
Okay.
besides, it would have. Yeah. Four. I can't.
I mean, it was pretty over anyways. Yeah, that was a really good opening hand for me.
Four
I had, like,
lands.
swamp.
Yeah, I couldn't
I
do
like-
anything.
I had like Swamp, Hippie, Dark Ritual, and Strip Mine in my opening hand. I was like, all right, yeah, this is a keep. I think I'm ready to go. Not sure I sideboarded correctly,
You
but
probably just bring in ice quakes.
that's probably going to happen.
Yeah. Shatter the Sky. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card, then destroy all creatures. That seems good. I need 4 mana to do that. More Caskets seems not good because you have pro white.
Yeah, most of my guys are pro whites. Anyway, it just hits Hippie, that's all.
Dovin's Veto against the Hymn to Turok would be nice. You have a lot of non-creature spells.
Yeah, no, Dobin's Veto is probably good against me. I think he's Saturday.
Destroy
looking at your
enchantments and
deck.
artifacts. That seems good.
I was thinking you side in Dobin's. Yeah, I was thinking you side in Dobin's Veto and maybe Heliod's Intervention. I don't know that you want anything else in there.
Tail's End can stop a strip mine. It's like a stifle.
Yeah, if you've got 2 mana up when it happens.
Sure. But that can happen. I like that. I need to protect my lands. Much rather have Breath of Meletus than Omen of the Sun. So that was a really hard sideboarding. I will be on the play. I will look at this hand and I will say...
I'll keep my hand.
I will say this is playable. Temple of Enlightenment, scry 1. Keep that on top. Your turn.
Blow it up, and then it's your turn.
Castle Vantress, your turn.
Swamp, tap, ritual, hippie. Go.
There's the hippie. So you could have done turn 1 hippie and you chose to do strip mine instead?
Yep.
I will take 2 life to do this. I'll say go.
Tax, I'll hit you for 2.
I rolled a 6, so you get an Omen of the Sun.
Factory,
Yeah.
second main. Ritual?
Oh boy, something big coming.
Nothing that big. Wondering if you have Dovin's Veto up. I'm going to Icequake, targeting the Sacred Foundry.
Response, I'll pop in an Omen of the Sea.
Yeah, that's what I thought it might be.
You get that, and I'll scry 2, then draw.
And then it's going to be your turn after that.
I put 1 on the bottom, 1 on the top. And I draw, and then I start my turn, and I draw again. And we'll play planes. Pass turn.
This is a little tricky, and this is the lose the game part. So we'll see. Trying to be
Demonic
aggressive here.
consultation.
Yeah, upkeep. I'm going to demonic consult. I'm going to name strip mine.
Okay, you've already used 1. 1, 2,
2,
3.
3,
All right,
4,
you're safe.
5, 6.
All right, keep
I
exiling.
keep reaving.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, we're killing a lot of gas here.
there it is.
There it is.
All right.
Not too many cards. So I got you got an additional like 9 cards.
Okay.
That goes into my hands. Okay.
You didn't lose any
Drop it.
necropotences.
Draw.
You're almost out of hippies though. You lost 2 hippies.
Yeah, and exile, and I lost a bunch of NIF discs.
Yeah, 2
Lost
of them.
I lost some good stuff, but this is not as disastrous as it could have been.
All right.
I will strip mine and blow up Castle Vantress.
Response. I will Omen of the Sea. I'll draw this.
Combat. Hippie comes in.
I didn't put any on the bottom, by the way. 1 of 5. I rolled a 1. You got my Shark Typhoon.
And you take 2. Have you been taking proper amount of damage? Okay, end step. It's your turn.
1 land. I'll play Fabled Passage and I'll pass a turn.
Combat, I'll hit you.
Rolling 1 through 4. You just got my Fires of Invention.
Second main, swamp, him.
I'm saving card number 2. You got a Shatter the Sky and you got a Castle Ardenvale.
Hey, lands. Okay, it's gonna be your turn after that.
End step, I'll Fabled Passage. Here's my island. It comes in play tapped, but then I'm going to untap and start my turn. I'll play Castle Ardenvale. And I'll say go. All right, whew, I made it to 3 lands. I'm so excited. I've had a lot of lands.
I will animate Mistress Factory.
Okay.
and move to attack you with Hippie and Mistress Factory. And I get rid of your last card.
4, the trigger resolves. So I'll take my 4 life. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to sack an Omen of the Sea to scry 2. See what's... Oh, but it's still, there's no card draw. So yeah. You discarded a Plains.
So second main phase?
Mm-hmm.
Order the Ebon Hand. And then it's your turn.
Okay. Untap. Draw. Birth of Meletis.
Get that wall going on.
Hey, it stops the Mistress Factory. But I don't have it yet. Wait a minute. Am I dead next turn? I am.
No, not quite, but you're going to be almost dead.
There's 2 to pump up. You'll have me at 1. Well, if you get a swamp, I'm dead next turn. No, because you have to pay for the Mistress. Okay, all right. I have a turn. So, I get a counter.
Plains.
Yeah, I'm going to search for Plains and play it. Made it to 4 mana, yeah!
It's like turn 9.
Your turn.
Turn.
Yeah. You know what you need is another... If you had another Mistress Factory, I'd be dead.
Yeah, I will animate Mistress Factory and hit you. I will actually pump Order the Ebon Hand, too, and hit you for 2, 4, 6, 7.
All right, I'm at 1.
Okay. Here we go.
Well, you win. Wait. Let's see. Is there anything I can get from this card? Let's see. No, I can't
You
even
get
play
a
this
wall,
card.
by the way. You've got a wall on field.
You win.
Yep.
See. So that was a blowout. That was a blowout.
I had good hands.
You did have good hands. All right. Well, so yeah. This very strong Yorion
Strip mines all the way. I mean,
Yorion Fire's deck was really unable to play any spells against Necropotence. That's the power of Necropotence. Yeah. And that's why Necropotence
basically
remains in our top 10 year after year, because it just has these draws where it just wrecks you. It has never won the whole tournament. It always seems to hit some kind of run. We had an epic game last year. Bant Company took down Necropotence in a game that went long and involved my pro-white creatures getting stopped by your 3/3 green creatures, and your selfless spirits threatening to give them indestructible, and turns went by, and there was a Nevinral's disc, but if I disced and you gave everybody indestructible, then what was the point? And so the Bant Company, with the indestructibility and the cheap big creatures, kept that deck alive against Necro. Congratulations, Necro. You knocked out a power creep recently banned recent deck, and you move on to the next round.